We've got Sergeant Jason Wall with the Deschutes County Sheriff's Office on the phone with us right now. Sergeant Wall, thank you for joining us. I know you are in the midst of dealing with some evacuation changes. So let's start with that. Where do the evacuations stand right now in regards to the Milemarker 132 fire?
So I just got off the telephone with Nathan Garraby, our emergency services sergeant. What he's advised me is that the unincorporated area of Juniper Ridge, which is north of Tallis, is still in a level 3 evac. Everything that is south of it is going to be reduced and is probably moving to level 2 at this point in time. When I spoke to you earlier, we talked about Wagon Tire Trail or Wagon Tire Way being sort of a demarcation line. That still is holding. However, the fire and the fire behavior is moving east. So again, anything that is north of Tallis in the unincorporated area of Juniper Ridge, still on a level 3 evac.
And Sergeant Wall, I know when we spoke earlier, you were talking about how there are neighborhoods just east of where this fire is burning. Do you know how close this fire is getting to some of those residential areas? Is there anything in the way, like the canal or the railroads, that might protect those homes?
Sure. I mean, anytime that you have any kind of major fire break, whether it be a railway, a roadway, in this case the canal, you are going to potentially slow down fire behavior. At this point in time, I can't tell you specifically how close the fire is to the residences east of where the fire behavior is really concentrated. But I do know, in speaking with Sergeant Garraby on the telephone, they're not as concerned at this point in time about all the way east to Deschutes Market Road.
And so, Sergeant, I'm going to assume from what you just said that the attack on this fire, both from the air and the ground, has been successful?
It has. Again, a very aggressive initial attack by our partners with both Forest Service, BLM, and et cetera, as well as the city of Bend. We have Jefferson Fires out there as well, Black Butte, Cloverdale. So we have a lot of fire personnel out there assisting with knocking this down as quickly as possible.
And Sergeant, when we spoke with you about an hour ago, you had mentioned an individual who had stepped out and said to an official, this is meaning stepping out of the Juniper Ridge or Dirt World area, claiming to have been the one who started this fire. How does that impact this investigation?
Well, anytime that somebody is claiming responsibility, obviously we want to speak to them and we want to run down all leads and take all witness statements. We don't know the motivation for this individual claiming responsibility. So again, the investigation is still in its infancy, but once we have more hard information as to whether or not this individual was truly responsible, or if for some reason they're not being 100% truthful, we'll determine that, and if there is someone responsible, then enforcement action may be taken.
But it certainly adds the word arson to the investigation, the potential for arson.
Sure, it sure does.
Yeah.
And Sergeant Wall, I want to talk about the evacuations that have already taken place. So I know that there were crews who went into the RV park that's nearby where this fire is burning, went into the what's commonly known as Dirt World area to evacuate people. Can you talk about what that process was like, about getting those people out and getting them to safety?
Well, as you probably can imagine, it's a very chaotic scene. We have law enforcement moving into these residential areas, explaining, hey, listen, there's obviously a fire and it's moving quickly in your direction. We're going to request that you vacate the area for your own safety and the safety of the personnel attempting to knock the fire down. Now, we can't force somebody out at that point in time. We can strongly advise them, but we cannot physically force them at any point in time. But there is traffic that becomes an issue, both foot traffic and also vehicle traffic that causes hazards for personnel, emergency responders trying to get in the area.
Yeah.
Did you have people who were in this area who you were telling to evacuate who refused to do so?
I don't have it on any good authority that people flat out refused, but people are very reticent to leave their belongings in their residences, and I don't blame them.
Yeah. Is there any indication at this point that there was a loss of structures, worse yet, a loss of life in this fire?
No, at this point in time, I have nothing to indicate that anyone has lost their life in relation to it. Now, keep in mind, I'm not physically at the fire at this point in time. I've left the command post and come back to our office to do some other work, but I don't have anything to indicate that anyone is injured or has perished, and I don't have any indication that there has been any structures lost at this point in time.
And that is the news we wanted to hear, Sergeant Wall. Thank you. One quick question for you regarding the evacuation zone. People who are being evacuated, because we do see that there are active flames burning, they're supposed to go to Mountain View High School. You're working with Red Cross, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so people who are trying to find somewhere to go, they should be going to Mountain View High School. Sergeant Wall with the Deschutes County Sheriff's Office, we appreciate your time. Thank you for that update. And we'll check back in to see if there's any other updates later on.
Great information, Sergeant. Thank you.